Hello. I know you can see the steering wheel, but look at them giles. Where did they come from?
Look, this won't go, like my toad won't go. It goes,
We're so attractive.
You know, them toads that inflate.
That wasn't how the vlog was meant to start. Right, I'll start driving. It is Monday. It is the day after St. Patrick's Day. This is my first excursion after being sick. Norovirus. Oh, look at the ceiling. Look at all the little things from my jumper. You can't see it.
Don't you be getting distracted when you're driving by shinies. It's not really going to stand up in court, is it? You can see, oh, but Judge, there was all these shinies from my jumper. And he'll say, oh, well, you're very pretty. There you go, you can go free. Have your license back.
So, is my hair looking a bit redder in the light? Still not that nice, you know, like orangey colour it was. Still annoyed about it. You're probably thinking, why is that woman still talking about her hair? I'm still really annoyed because for the first time in my life I had my hair how I wanted it, like the colour I wanted it. And it was taken away from me after one session. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake. And so many people had said, oh, I really like your hair colour, or your hair. Even a cleaner in the bloody Tower Centre came up to me and said, oh, I really like the colour. And I'm like, yes, I've got this hair colour, it's really nice, I really like it. And then, gone. So yes, I'm still annoyed. I'm likely to be annoyed until I've got that hair colour back. I decided I'm going to go back once, see what happens. Like I said, I'm really not very good with confrontation or arguing with people without losing my temper. Sorry, I'm not very good at expressing my disapproval about something unless it's someone I know very well, without getting quite heated, let's put it like that. Because it takes, like I've always said, I'm like a pressure cooker. I love to be one of those people that can express themselves. Like Darren can do it. If he's not happy with something, he can say, no, I'm not happy with that. And he'll perfectly happily sit there afterwards with the person. I feel really uncomfortable being a complaint. I don't like complaining or, you know, saying you did this wrong, because I'm not a hairdresser, and I know if she tries to, right, I'm not a hairdresser, but I'm not a stupid person either.
Yeah, but you're paying her to do what you want, and she's not doing what you want. That's the problem.
But then, what I'm trying to say is, as a hairdresser, if she starts to, well, your hair in the condition and it could break off, and
say, well, don't dye it dark then.
It's, you know what I mean? It's like, right, why am I still talking about my hair? Because I'm really annoyed by it. That's why. Oh, what's that?
Yeah, that's another one of those falcony, hawky, kite things.
Right, I'm trying to keep the waffle down in car because the amount of waffle I do is stupid. I put it on to say, welcome to a new weekly vlog. We are going to Antrim, which is the next town over. We need to get some bathroom paint and a bolt for our front gate, because the end of it, you know, the thing that stops the little bar sliding completely out, that broke off. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Isaac's off school today. It's what they call a baker day. Now, I don't know what that means. Does that mean it's a day when teachers are doing training? No idea, it's a baker day.
Like nobody wants to go to the toilet and be baking it.
Why would you associate baker with toilets?
Brownies.
No, there's something wrong with you. Honestly. Everything has to relate to ablutions or farts. Right. I can't think of anything else to tell you other than that. Thankfully, I'm feeling much better. I still feel very sore, quite wiped out. I'll tell you what, my throat is so painful. Haha. See what I mean? My throat is ulcerated on both sides. I can only imagine from the acid. And I've also got like a little lump on one of my tonsils, which I'm waiting to see what happens with, hoping it's just like agitation.
You can smell the stomach acid upstairs when it was at its worst.
It's shocking. Because like when I'd finished expelling the entire contents of my system, what is that flag?
Oh no, that's not. That'll be the St. Killian's.
Right. Oh, they're in the final. Yeah. all that was coming up was like every time I had water it would come up, and then then stomach lining. When it starts to get bright green, you know, it's like, right, okay.
Yeah, there is.
So, you know, I'm like turning into what's her face from The Exorcist. But it was not good. I think apart from when I was expecting Isaac, it is the sickest I've ever been. That's Dylan. And I think Oren. To be honest, I can't remember ever vomiting that vociferously. It was horrible. Isaac got away relatively lightly. He had it from about, I think he started being ill just before 9 o'clock on Thursday evening. I had started at 10 o'clock that morning. He stopped being ill. I think the last time he was ill was like 3 o'clock in the morning, so he only went from 9 to 3, and then obviously the next day he still didn't feel good and he was wiped out, so he stayed in bed, and he only had the being sick, whereas I started being sick on Thursday morning, all through Thursday night. Friday, I think the last time I was ill was Friday morning, and then I just was like completely wrung out, like a wet chamois. So I had a little bit to eat last night, but not anywhere near as much as I can normally stomach. So little lambs are out. Spring, look at all the little lambs. Oh, they're everywhere. So yeah, at the expense of not wanting this to turn into waffle, I shall switch you off. I'll switch you on if there's anything of interest in the shop, which I can't see, and I'll catch up with you later. Hello guys, it is Tuesday, so this will be the first time I've gone into my parents' house since the A&E episode last week, followed by the Norovirus. I've now got a pretty bad cold, really sore throat, but I've got all this like horrible blood coming down as well. I've ulcerated my tonsils, being sick. Oh, I feel like death. Right, here we go. Head to my mum's with her shopping, and she'll want to go downtown, so needs must. I'm not going to waffle all the way in as usual because I'm consciously trying to cut that down, so that the vlogs, unless there's something like specific happening that week, the vlogs are never more than half an hour. Nothing really to catch you up on. At the minute there's little lambs out everywhere. With us living in the country, it's so cute. It's very distracting as well. My hair, don't even start me. I washed it and didn't do anything with it, which is why it looks really frizzy right now. I don't have any heart to like straighten it or anything because I'm just not happy with it generally, so I'm back to the bird's nest that it usually is. I don't know if I told you, Isaac's going away this August with Scouts for a week. It's weird, they're doing it from Saturday to Saturday, which is a real pain because that's like 2 weekends gone rather than like Monday to Sunday or something. Saturday to Saturday, and they're going to Lancashire to I don't know exactly where in Lancashire. It's a place called Red Rose Camp. They host scouting camps for like scout trips from all over the UK. Now there are a few coming from like down south of Ireland. There's a couple from Africa. There's one from, I can't remember what Netherlandy country it is. It's one of them. You know, not Netherland. That is a bloody country. You know the way you've got like Sweden, Finland, Denmark. I get them mixed up all the time. It's from one of those. So there's a lot. I think there's around 1,500 scouts that are going to be there, and they get to do things like abseiling and mountain biking and like water assault courses and kayaking, and there's like silent discos, there's live music. It's a week long. So the first year he joined Scouts, we thought he was a little bit young to be good. He'd never been away from home before, and this was for a full week, and it was at England. It's like, so he didn't go to the first one, and then the next year coincided with us going away, so we couldn't go. That was down south of Ireland that year, so we couldn't go to that. So this year we're like, right, we'll send him to this. And I had sort of like a rough idea, because the Scouts subsidise everything and things don't cost like what you would expect they cost. So obviously they're camping outside, they have to bring all their own camping equipment, and Scout unit has to bring all their own food. So like food's not provided there, they have to cook their own food. And they gave us a price a few days ago. And I was expecting, you would be thinking, well, that was really naive of you, Lisa. I was expecting about 250, at most 300 quid. £500. £500. So that was a bit of a how much? So we need to find that. And great. It's like the fund that we started again for Florida, which might I say doesn't have very much in it because we have to keep dipping into it. We need a new mattress, so we're going to get that. And there's something else we needed, I can't remember. There's just all these things we keep needing. That's, you know, I'm sure everybody can relate when you're trying to put a bit of money aside and this happens and that happens and then this happens, and we could really do with a new sofa, but we've got a leather sofa, and because both me and Darren like the same seat on the sofa, the one to the far right, when I'm not there he sits in it, when, you know, so it's always got someone on it, and the middle seat has never got anyone on it. Now what I wanted to try and do is, we have to take the back off the sofa to see if there's some way to switch around the foam inside the cushions, but everything's enclosed, you can't lift the cushions out. I don't think there's going to be like a zip where you can, you know, take the cushion out. That reminds me, I need to get a socket set off my dad so Darren can take the back off the sofa, because we don't have a socket set. Yeah, so anyway, 500 quid, and then I've another thing planned for August already. Yeah, so like we're meeting up with some people in August, like there's a big meet-up happening, so, you know, let's find in the cash for that. There's so many things I want to do. You know, we can't take a family holiday this year because we can't afford it, because Isaac's going away to that, and then we're having that meet up in August. I want to go see Kelly and Dave, but it's, you know, something as simple as that. Kelly, you're probably watching. You know, the last time we came to see you was completely disastrous because we were all sick. But it's so expensive to do. I'm sure you're the same, because I know you've said like these things keep happening in the house and we have to keep putting money aside. It's like something as simple as visiting someone in England. You've got flights for 3 people, you've got hotel for 3 people, you've got car hire for 3 people. You know, it's not easy. You've like all this, you're talking, before you spend any money on anything, you're talking about £1,000 easily, just going to visit your friend for a few days. And it's like, it's just so, oh, and then there's the dogs would need to be kennelled as well, I'd forgotten about that. It's so expensive, and you know, like, you can't do everything you want to do, and it's so frustrating. Anyway, there's me moaning about money when I said I wasn't going to be talking rubbish. So yeah, what I wanted to tell you was 500 quid for that scout trip. Do you think, you see, when you think about it, it is a week and they're doing lots of activities, but no food's provided, and you know, the scouts have to bring their own tents and stuff, so all it really is a camping site. But I suppose you're paying for the activities, but still, because scouts are so heavily subsidised, like they're going for a week to a scouting centre called Ballyhornan, 3 weeks time actually, first week of April they're going, and that's like 50 quid, you know what I mean? And then when you go from, okay, it's a longer period of time, but going from 50 quid for a weekend to 500 quid for a week is a big jump. But then you have the ferry and all that shit. It's the frustration, and it's one thing I really, really miss. I only miss 2 things about living in England. Only 2 things, and that is my friends, Kelly and Dave, and like proximity to stuff, to be able to do stuff. When you're in England, if a band tours, you're always going to be somewhere near somewhere that they play. When you're here, you've got Belfast and Dublin, and most bands don't actually do over here because it's not financially viable for them to pay for transportation for 2 dates. So we miss loads of bands we want to see. I don't get to see my friend. You know, things like if you want to go to London for the day or something, like we wanted to do the Harry Potter studio. flight, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just, everything's so expensive. And if Isaac just had to get to this Scout Ballyhorton, this Red Rose thing, the price automatically, I think a price for a ticket's $265, so the price is cut in half. But because we're having to pay for minibuses and ferries, we're having to pay double just because of where we're located. So that's a pain up the arse. You know, I miss that. I don't miss how expensive everything is. When I say that, everything's the same price, but rent and, you know, water and rates, I've spoken to you about that before. I don't miss that side of things, and I don't miss the drama from Darren's side of the family. But yeah, I miss my friends and I miss being able to get to everything. But what can you do, hey? It's the thing, like, coming back here was a big expense in itself, and trying to get somewhere to live and stuff. But because then when we got into normal life again, things were cheaper. But I don't think we could ever afford to make the move back again. Darren's not close to his family at all. He was close to his mum, and now his mum's passed. With the person his dad's become, he's no longer close to his dad, he's not close to his brothers, so there would be no pull for Darren to move back home. I know he's a very proud Yorkshireman and he loves Yorkshire and stuff, and I love Yorkshire. It's a lovely place. We really enjoyed living there. For us to move back would increase our bills by so much money, we just could never afford to make the move back, because the jump with our situation, with my illness and stuff, and with not being able to like have a big full-time wage and all that stuff, it's pants. Tell you what, Alan, if you're watching this, Darren was telling me about the cost of things down in like Hastings area in Brighton. Jesus Christ, that's flipping expensive, mate. It's like he was saying that loads of the houses have been bought up by, you know, people that already have a home. They're buying them as second and third homes and then using them as rental lets and making a fortune, so normal people from the area can't afford to buy in Brighton anymore. I remember Jamie saying to me, London's expensive but Brighton's more expensive, and I was like, you what? Somewhere's more expensive than London? I was like, yeah. I don't envy you, mate. I don't envy you at all. I should be grateful. We live near the coast, we live near the sea, it's very unpolluted, the beaches are all award-winning beaches, very clean, nice scenery, and a lot cheaper, but you pay the price with just, you know, things like entertainment and stuff like that. Right, I've reached Ballymena and I've waffled for 11 minutes, which I had no intention of doing. Look how fat my face is. I need to get started with this bloody rock fit again. I'm going to have a go tomorrow, folks. I've decided tomorrow's my first day not ill. I've got a cold, but we're not counting that as being ill. It's raining. How's I going to get downtime with my mum? I've no coat with me, obviously, because that's what I would do when it's raining. Because it's warmer today, when I left the house the sun was out and it was really nice. Now it's flipping raining. What's I talking about? Yeah, because tomorrow's the first day I don't have to do anything and I'm not physically bulking, so tomorrow I am going to have a go at rock fit. If I can like break the back of it, if I can get it started, hopefully that'll be it. I just love my food too much, that's the issue. Anyway, let's go. I shall check in with you guys later. Hello guys, I might get interrupted by Darren phoning. Just left my mum's 2 pieces of news. My dad's chased 2 of the carers out of the house, not chased, made 2 of the carers leave the house on Sunday. Apparently they dropped a big piece, like I'm just going to be big piece of crap, on the floor of the sitting room. My dad had an issue with these 2 for ages. They're like really lazy. They don't do what they should be doing. They throw everything at their arse. They'll take pyjamas off my mum and like throw the bottoms one place and the top somewhere else. They just like leave the steady and the commode and stuff, like it really just chuck it in the room. You know, they're just really messy. And my dad's never said anything, but this big piece of crap lying on the floor near the bin. Now they're meant to bag up all pants and stuff that are taken off my mum, like disposable pants, and put it in the outside bin, bag it and get rid of it, but they just stuff it inside in the little bins that there are. and it looks like something has fallen out when they've been putting it in the bed, and my dad says it was me. He says they couldn't have not seen it. It's impossible. He says it's impossible that they haven't seen it. I don't think they've seen it. I think they've just been careless and it's fallen out. But anyway, my dad says I don't want them in the house again. Whole big palaver started because of it. The care company says, well, there's nobody else, and my dad says, well, I don't want them in the house. So they've only been getting like 1 call a day instead of 4, which is like a tea time call, because he won't have those 2. And they says, well, we don't have anyone else, which they should have with a, you know. Anyway, Darren had to phone and speak to, they said they were going to speak to social workers to try and get something sorted out. Nobody did. I've got stuck on busy traffic now, like lunch, or like going home, tea time, 5 o'clock traffic. It's going to take me ages to get home. I'm not going into all the ins and outs of it, but they've lied. They've said stuff like, oh, well, if there was crap on the floor, it's because there's dogs and cats running around the place. My parents don't have any pets, and the only cat that's even anywhere near the house is Josephine, who you see outside sometimes, who never is in the house. And Darren's saying, what? So a cat that belongs to the neighbour has got in the house of its own fruition, through a door that's never open, taken a crap and then let itself back out again. And he says, and anyway, besides the point, the crap that was on the floor could not have been done, you know, it was not cat-sized, let's put it that way. So now we're trying to work out whether there is any other answer of any other staff that can be switched around, or is the contract going to have to go to another caring agency? I don't know. So all that's up in the air, and then Darren phones and says, right, I can't stay on the phone because the school are phoning me back. And I'm like, right, what's happened? Now, Isaac's mentioned this wee lad for a while being an arsehole. He doesn't like him, but he's never said why. He just, well, it says some of the stuff that he says, his attitude sucks. But apparently this wee lad's been bullying Isaac physically for quite a while, and Isaac hasn't mentioned it. Shoving him, pushing him, you know, kicking him. But today, he shoved Isaac really hard, and Isaac went flying into a little girl who was knocked over by it. Isaac ended up getting into trouble. The teacher told him off. And Isaac said, it was him, he's just shoved me. I didn't do anything, I didn't shove him. And because this wee lad, people are intimidated by him, nobody said anything. Now, I haven't been home, so I haven't got the full story. I've only got a very condensed version in the phone, and then the phone rang while I was talking to Darren, so I had to get off. But when Darren spoke to Isaac about it, what was I going to say? And this really annoys me because we didn't get into the parent-teacher meeting either. I would like to have went and seen who Con was and ingratiated myself to Con's parents, because I would have done. If I'd known about this in advance. Somebody's walking past in a Queen t-shirt, good man. When Darren got further into it, apparently this wee lad's been doing this for some time. Isaac hasn't said anything because he didn't want to be a grass. But Darren says, do you want this to stop? And Isaac said, well, yeah, of course I do. He says, right, well, if you want it to stop, I'm going to have to go to the school, and I'm going to have to tell them. And Isaac said, right, okay, fair enough. So Darren's phoned the school, and when the last I've heard, the phone rang while I was talking to Darren, his mobile, so he's been on the phone with the school, so I don't know any more at the minute. Honestly, folks, if my life was straightforward, I'd be fucking shocked at this rate. So I went in thinking, right, I've just got over that illness, my dad's not in hospital anymore, hopefully things are alright. Get into my parents, get hit with a carer scenario. My dad's been doing all the caring duties on his own since Sunday. They have 1 call a day now instead of 4, and my dad says, I'd rather do it myself than have them 2 in the house. And if he says that, they'll take the care away from him, which he'll not cope with. He'll crash again, everything will go to an arse. So it's now left to me and Darren to try and, you know, to do something to try and get an answer to this. But I know my dad doesn't want them back in the house, and when I told him what the excuse they had used was, he's even more angry now. Dogs and cats running around. Anyway, that's you updated. I will get off now, and I will speak to you when I know a bit more about any more I know about the school thing. It's like, why is Isaac such a target for these arseholes? He's too soft. But then if Isaac were to clock this lad, that like being physically aggressive is like an expulsion in a grammar school. If you were to like hit somebody and land them on their arse, which is how Isaac, we've told Isaac to handle people like this, put him on his arse. But I think this wee lad's a big lad as far as I know. But in St. Louis, they're very, I'm hoping that the fact that this wee lad has been physically the way he's been with Isaac, that should be seen as physical aggression, and there should be some form of punishment for this. I don't know who the wee girl is that was knocked over, but my issue now is that her and all of her friends are going to think Isaac's the one that's done that, and they're going to have a problem with him now. Yeah, as if we don't have enough to fucking contend with without this. Right, I shall go, guys. I'll catch you up at a later date. Hello. It is Friday evening. I don't have a necklace on or my hair down. I should have brought a coat. Well, I'm in the car now, I'll have to do without. Darren will get in there and tell me off for on.
You not got a coat?
What's that?
You not got a coat?
So that's the first thing you say when you get in the car. It's Friday, we're quite early, that's why we're arsing about a bit. Let's get the heat up a little bit because it is freezing in this car. Just dropping Isaac off to Scouts. This is their last meeting before Easter. They're doing have you got your phone in your pocket? Digital citizen badge, so it'll be something to do with stuff online. Maybe not online, but like you do know how to switch your mobile data on, don't you? Yeah. So then he's got 2 weeks off Scouts, but on the second weekend that he's off, they're going for a weekend to I have to push this back so I can put on my hoodie. They're going for a weekend to Ballyhornan, which is just in Northern Ireland. It's like a scouting camp. So they're doing that for a couple of days. They've got like a canoeing camp thing in June, but Isaac doesn't want to go. It's only a one night thing, but he's not a big fan of canoeing. And then in August, obviously, there's the Red Rose that he's going to, which is the week thing in Lancashire. I'd love to have done something like that. There's nothing like that. I'll put it on.
Oh, just push it.
There's nothing like that when I was a kid. When I was in guides, the thing at the end is coming along nicely. I may try and turn it. Problem is I can't get you turned properly at where you're at to see out the front window. But I want to try and like take, I might actually get Darren when he's walking the dogs to take a little bit of video some days, just so that we've got like, it's nice to have, you know what I mean, when something looked a certain way. Yes, I've punched that. It's nice to have.
Like that, because it's changed loads.
Yeah, but I never thought. I can't. My jumper's halfway up my arm now.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
It's nice to see how things change, because when houses go there, apparently it's 15 new houses. I think I told you.
Yeah, the whole new cul-de-sac.
You know, you forget what it used to look like, so I want to like even a little bit so that we can do a, you know, put it all together. So this hoodie is not, I keep forgetting when I put it on, it's like not to be worn with jumpers, because it's...
Is it not to be worn with jumpers? Is that a warning label that's gone out?
No, but it makes it all tight and
you haven't
restrictive.
got a Kermit patch, you need a Muppets patch.
So I don't think there's anything else of any interest to tell you. We're going to see Ghostbusters tomorrow, the new film. I'm hearing pretty lukewarm reviews at the minute from people.
Roadhouse.
Well, I'm talking about Ghostbusters. We watched the Roadhouse remake last night with Jake Gyllenhaal. If you've seen, I'll start driving as I'm talking. If you've seen the original Roadhouse movie with Patrick Swayze and Sam Elliott, don't waste your time. Hang on, let me move you a wee bit. I should have tried and move this. No, I'm not going to do it now because it's pretty dark, and I might turn it around and you'll be able to see enough all anyway. Don't waste your time. Unless you're a big Jake Gyllenhaal fan, there's no point. And if you think you're going to get to see Jake Gyllenhaal act, because I think he's a really good actor, I really like him as an actor, and I'm not saying he was bad in it, he wasn't bad in it. The storyline is awful.
I think I guessed everything that was going to happen stage by stage from start to finish.
Right, I've turned you around. You can see a lot of breeze blocks have gone there. There's four diggers.
There's diggers everywhere.
Oh, there's diggers down there too. There's lots of diggers.
They've already submerged all the big sewer pipes over there. The big
So it's looking just a bit flat at the minute. There is like a few of the hills are still there. Let me turn you back around again. We'll fix that for next time I speak to you. I'm aware it's too close. If you think it's distressing for you, it's more distressing for me when I have to watch it back when I'm editing. It's not good. You know, there's certain angles you don't see your own face from, and I don't see my own face from the side, and neither do I want to see my own face from the side anymore. Oh, it's all got
me. I have to see my own face in the mirror when I'm brushing my teeth, and it's like full on. It's like, oh my god.
Right, I forgot that when I set off driving you're not going to be able to see me, so now I'm driving along illuminated. Anyway, long story short, do not watch the new Roadhouse movie, it's terrible. Conor McGregor's in it, he's quite funny. Storyline is absolutely terrible. Jake Gyllenhaal's got a shirt off a lot in it. That's all you need to know. If that interests you, watch it. If it doesn't, don't. Although, every man I know that has seen it, other than one, and Darren too, has said it's really disappointing, it's terrible. Sorry, the opposite. They've all said it's the most badass film I've seen all year, was one comment I read. And they've all really enjoyed it. There's people saying it's better than the original, which is just laughable. But like someone else said, why did we need it remade? There's certain movies we don't need remade, and Roadhouse was one of those movies. They've just ripped the whole soul out of what it was about. And what frustrates me is Jake Gyllenhaal's a really good actor, and he keeps picking movies that I feel are beneath him. He did that Ambulance, was it called Ambulance?
Something like that.
The guy that did Transformers, you either love his movies or you don't. There's a name of the director and I've forgotten it. Nearly came to me, it's gone again. Bay, Matthew Bay. Michael Bay, thank you. You either really like him or you don't.
I've got this effect, so I'm going to use it.
I don't. He's a lot about, look at all this stuff I can do, at the expense of the storyline and the characters. I thought Ambulance was really disappointing. Everyone else quite liked it.
If you watched the trailer for Ambulance, you see the whole film.
Yeah. Although, if you're me and you've got my memory, are they flashing me because I've got my interior light on? Right, you can see the dark for a while. I apologise, but you can still hear my dulcet tones. It was in. There's a remake of, I think it was a Danish film. And it might be called Last Call. It's where he is working as an emergency dispatch person, and he takes a telephone call from a woman that I think has been kidnapped. And he's in the American remake of the original foreign movie, and it's so dull. The original's really good, but the remake's awful. And I'm thinking, you know, when you start off your career with stuff like Donnie Darko, like a real cult classic, and now you're doing action movies. I don't know if he thinks it's gonna, like, you know, further his career, but he's got so much more talent than what he's doing. You know, some of the performances I've seen him do. I mean, he was in Brokeback Mountain, wasn't he?
Yeah.
No jokes, because everybody has to make jokes when we talk about Brokeback Mountain. But his performance in that was fantastic. You know, he started off his career with taking really brave roles and quite iconic roles almost, and now he's doing a remake of a Patrick Swayze film that's laughable, and it's like, what are you doing, man? It's no. Right, I'll stop whinging about that. So anyway, tomorrow we're going to see Ghostbusters. As I said, it's getting quite lukewarm reviews. I have a friend that is obsessed by Ghostbusters. It's his favourite film of all time. He goes to cons dressed as a Ghostbuster with his wife. They have proper, real, made up, obviously it doesn't bust ghosts, but they look like real metal proton packs and stuff. He plays the game. Anyway, he's obsessed by Ghostbusters, and he was really disappointed by it, so that doesn't bode well. But we shall see. Everybody hated Madam Web, and I thought it was alright. And there's another one that everyone hated that I enjoyed. The Last Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania. It won in the Rubber Duckies Worst Movie of the Year. I really liked it. So, yeah, that's true, and a lot of people like the new Roadhouse. Or as Darren says, when people say something to you about liking something that's crap, you say, well, what's his name? Kanye West's very popular. There's no accounting for taste. I had to block somebody off my channel today. I know you're getting dark, I do apologise. There's a review I did for this film called... forgotten what it's called. That's no use. It was recommended to me by someone. You know the one about the girl who ends up getting pregnant and going to have the teen abortion, and it's an 80s movie, and it's just really, the way it's filmed, every character's really unlikable. She's really manipulative. The guy that's supposed to be the nice nerdy guy is just, you know the one I mean, and it just was really over focused on her body when it shouldn't have been. And I basically said what I thought of it, but because it's and if you could see me, I would do finger, what's them things, quotes, cult classic, and I'm not the something audience. It started off with, his opening line was, when you said maybe it's just me, there you have it, bingo, it is just you. And proceeded to just rip the arse out of everything I'd said, and like, you're not allowed an opinion. So the last 3 words it got was, off you fuck. And then it got banned. But it's like, it's this culture with some people in the movie community that is so vitriolic, and I can't be doing with it. Again, I apologise that you're looking at nothing, it's probably preferable. But
self-righteous twat.
I mean, what I don't understand is, I have friends that like stuff I hate, and I have friends that hate stuff I love. We don't feel the need to. Example, Hereditary. Kelly and Dave went to see it, 2 best friends, and they hated it. We're not going to fall out over it. They don't hate me because I told them go watch it. But now, if you don't like a film that someone really likes, people start a fight with you. And because I didn't like this film, because I felt it objectified the girl in it, and I felt every character was unlikable, and I just didn't like it, and I'm allowed to not like it. But no, this guy could not take bingo, it's just you, which is rubbish because Darren watched it with me and completely was with me. And he's not a yes man. He will not say that he doesn't like something or he likes something just because I feel that way. But there's multiple movies.
Tokyo got police.
Example, Tokyo Board Police, I hate it, he loves it. Funny enough, Dave really enjoyed it and Kelly hated it like me. He loves Monty Python, I hate Monty Python. I absolutely loved the movie Us. Darren thought it was, well, it's alright. I was really excited for him to watch it because I thought he'd love it, and he was like, meh, well, it was alright. There was one I made him watch the other day. He hasn't really said much of what he thought about it, but I thought it was right up his street. What did you think of Thanksgiving?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so you like that one. What I'm trying to say is me and Darren do not...
That's why I said it was the better one with Mr. Roth in it.
Do not always agree on movies, but when it's something that's quite divisive, where the community are getting really irate, me and Darren tend to be on the same page. Like Madam Web we were. I'm not saying that he really liked it, he felt the same way I did. It was alright, it was okay, it wasn't awful. You know what I mean? But people are getting really bent out of shape. It's one of the worst things. It's like, oh, just give it a rest. Yeah, a lot of people think Morbius was much better. Me and Darren both preferred Madam Web, but I just don't get people just getting all bent out of shape about a movie opinion. It's like when we... What?
Who was in Morbius?
Jared Leto. What was I going to say? Like my dad thinks Tom Cruise can't act. I can't even begin to start arguing with that because it's just such a moronic statement. But I'm not going to fall out with my dad because he don't like Tom Cruise. He thought Pursuit of Happiness was a pile of tripe. It's a really good film. It made me cry with Will Smith in it. There's something else. It was alright that I thought he would love. Oh, that Latru, the French prison movie. That I thought was really, really good. And it was a true story. Well, it was alright. It was really predictable. It's like what flipping happened in real life. They can't change the storyline. So yeah, fathers and daughters and husbands and wives managing quite harmoniously to disagree about movies without tearing lumps out of each other. It's just a pity that the internet couldn't do the same. Anyway,
that's what school music. They will not accept if you don't like the same thing as them.
It's some people as it can't grow, they can't mature out of certain mindsets. So, you know, to be able to accept that people all like different things, because if we all like the same stuff, the world would be incredibly boring. So why do we need to?
I'm comfortable knowing that other people are wrong.
I shall sign off now. We shall see you again tomorrow to let you know what we thought. I remember what I was going to end with. I'm taking a break from my film channel at the minute. I'm probably going to take at least another month and do nothing. Because I just want a bit of a break from talking about films and people telling me whether I'm right or wrong. It's like, well, I really... to be honest with you, the only reason I maintain my YouTube channel is to keep the friendships that I've made, that the people that I really like. Other than that, I wouldn't be remotely arsed. I would just keep doing vlogs for me and for the few people that like to watch them. That's all I would do. The others I'd maybe do one in a blue moon, not very often. But, you know, there's people I've met that I like and stuff, and I want to be able to stay in touch with them. Anyway, on that note, we shall come back tomorrow and let you know what we think of the new Ghostbusters movie. Goodbye for now. We're in Costa, treating ourselves to a coffee. There's Darren. I'd like to say he's paying, but he's paying with my card. He'll be twitching at the price of that Costa coffee. He will be. Look how quiet it is.
So what balance is that?
There you go, Alan. There's Darren inside a heated shopping centre with in Costa, and he's still going to Everest. How many layers have you got on? Just show everybody. A coat, a hoodie, the t-shirt. It's nothing below the t-shirt. It's not too bad today then. Yes, that's incredibly indulgent. I don't usually. They didn't offer you to put cream and marshmallows on it.
No.
When they were 14, they got the prize was 10 and 6 voucher or whatever that means.
There's a Borderlands film.
It's probably about 5.
What time was that from?
Huh?
Borderlands. There's a poster for a film.
Oh yeah, there's a new film coming out, Borderlands. Yeah.
Oh, it'll be so good.
It's probably going to be an 18.
I don't care. I'm going to see it. I don't want to see Borderlands.
So H 18, 19, and 20.
That sounds like a big one.
Yeah, I don't think see, but when they say black, they don't necessarily mean black room because everybody wants the bag, I think. Hello. So I've just come out of the cinema. We've just seen Ghostbusters. The screen's still. I don't know if we mentioned that when we went to see Aquaman. We did because me and Isaac came out. Or no, because one of Isaac's friends was with us that day. So I didn't tell you. There's a screen called Lux, which is more expensive than all the other ones. It's got all the luxury recliners. The screen's much bigger, but the screen's not pulled taut at the bottom. Now I tried to film it when it was on, but you can only really see it when it's light. If the screen's black, you can't see it. So I'm going to put it in if it showed, and you can kind of see what I mean, but it doesn't show up on video as worse as it actually looks.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
If there's any like light scenes, you know, anything that's grey or white or like a pale blue, anything like that, it's really like, oh my god. And Darren complained about it last time and they still haven't fixed it. So we complained about it again. But there's this weird thing when all the adverts,
sound system I was complaining about.
when the adverts were on, like all the music and sound effects were coming out, but whenever anyone was speaking, there was no sound. And initially,
someone had locked the woofer so it was on one channel rather
right,
than
well,
two.
so there was no sound, and all the way through the adverts and trailers, I'm like, Isaac, they've switched off.
I told Dad twice and I didn't know.
But I think someone else went out before he did. And then when Darren was on the way out, Wiley was like halfway across the front of the screen. The sound came back on at that stage, but he kept walking. But then I saw him talking to one of the guys and pointing at the screen. I says to Darren, Isaac, he's complaining about that screen again.
He didn't believe me till he saw it. And then he couldn't believe it. He was like, oh my god.
How could you not have seen that? Is he a manager or something? How could you not have noticed that?
It's not about he'd recently taken it over. He'll have a word with the manager or the duty manager or something.
Anyway.
He wasn't happy.
Ghostbusters. Frozen Empire. I'm not sure. I haven't really. It hasn't sunk in yet, but I was fighting insomnia. Let's put it that way.
What?
If it wasn't the fact of the nostalgia of Ghostbusters, it would be just like...
The best part of the film was the song.
Yeah.
When the song kicked in, you sort of feel that nostalgia if you're that age. I really, really like the girl that plays Phoebe. I looked up her name. Do you know she was in A Handmaid's Tale? She played the character called Esther. The girl that plays Phoebe. She's got really long blonde hair in real life. She looks completely different. I must look up what character Esther was. I have a feeling she was the one. No, she couldn't have been. She's too young. Anyway.
Did anyone else guess the ending of the film right at the very start?
Well, we're not going to talk about that on. I wasn't invested enough to try to guess endings, to be honest with you. I really like her. I think she's really good. She's got a real presence about her, and I want to see her in more stuff. There was nothing wrong with the acting. I can't say anything was wrong, but I didn't care.
I didn't like the...
I found it really stunted.
I didn't like the...
It's your line. Now it's your line, and now you're going to have a line. I know that's technically what
were you saying,
acting,
Isaac,
but
then?
it was just...
I didn't like the stepdad character.
Paul Rudd?
I don't like him.
He was
Sacrilege.
dulled down.
Yeah.
Bill Murray had no wit, comedy, or anything about him. It was like he was... Well, I told you what I worry about Bill Murray. I think he might have dementia, because it may as well have been a cardboard cutout.
That would have been funny.
It just felt... I don't know what it felt. Lifeless, soulless.
That was good.
Well, Isaac likes everything. Isaac
No, I
liked
do
Five
not.
Nights at Freddy's.
That was a really good film. You just don't understand it because you
That
don't
was
play the
shit.
games.
Isaac, the point of Five Nights at Freddy's is jump scares, and there wasn't one jump scare in the
Jeez,
film.
The
None.
entire game has about...
Yeah, but that's the whole point of
on
it, is
Wikipedia
they
search
have
up,
to
there's
try
like
and
10
sneak you
hours
up.
of lore. There is
Anyway,
so much lore for that
well, they
game.
should have had jump scares, and they didn't. So, I wasn't very impressed. As I say, I really like her. I couldn't fault the effects and stuff. The effects were really good. I felt like it needed to be like half an hour longer to get the actual story. It felt like, and everyone has said this, absolutely everyone, and even Rich actually said that the girl version had better pacing.
Oh, I much preferred that to that.
Everybody
Much preferred it.
hates
I was
the
thinking
girl
that halfway
version.
through. I thought, oh, that was better than that.
It was really slow, really slow, really slow, really slow, and then everything was over really fast. I felt like they had to, they would need to double the length of the last half of it to make the pacing work. It just went from 0 to 60, but the 60 wasn't particularly very exciting. I looked up on my phone at one stage what the girl's name was that plays... I've now forgotten it because that's me. And in the time that it took me to open IMDb and look at the girl's name, the defeated the thing, and I'm thinking, how did that happen?
I also found a lot of the comedy bits were stolen off Gremlins.
I'm thinking to myself, yeah, you mean the little marshmallows were so...
Just the way it was filmed and the sound effect and it's like, it's Gremlins.
So Isaac liked it. I'm not going to say it was an awful movie, but when you compare it to what's come before it, it does not compare. It's very, very average. Out of 10, I would give that 6. Now, I know you think lower, but when you think of some of the movies that we watch and how bad they are, that's why I'm not going lower than a 6.
Compared to Barbie, and you give it a 6.
Because the acting was decent, the effects were decent,
Nothing new.
The storyline's the main problem. So
Barbie,
I can't tell. Well, it depends, Isaac. To be honest, Barbie was more entertaining than that, and I didn't like Barbie. But I don't know. I liked Ryan Gosling in Barbie. I thought he was really funny. It's like when we watched Roadhouse. I thought Conor McGregor was really funny. I didn't like anything else about it. Yes, he is, but he's in this film as one of the bad guys, and he amused me. But a lot of other people are saying his acting is painful. I thought he was funny.
Amusing because it was dreadful.
I thought he was funny, so I enjoyed that part. But anyway, so Isaac liked it, but other than that, I don't think me and Darren are particularly... I had low expectations because everybody I know that had seen it, the best comment I'd heard was, it's not great, but it's not awful. That was the best comment I'd heard.
There's one special effect they used way too much, and it was when...
Well, don't give any spoilers, no spoilers.
I can't say it.
I will say the special effects haven't really come on since 1984.
Yeah, the special effects were very, very similar, has to be said. But yeah, a bit underwhelmed. I wish I'd been to see Immaculate instead. I'm hearing good reports about that, but then again, can't go see that with Isaac because it has to be an 18.
Oh.
It's a new horror with Sydney Sweeney that all men are losing everything about. And she's like, looks like a schoolgirl, so I get quite disturbed by that. We're now going to Tesco to pick up an Easter egg for Isaac, because if you leave it to Easter, all the Easter eggs sell out. So it's like, we'll just let him pick whatever Easter egg. No, you're not having it till Easter, Isaac. I told you this.
Can I buy myself one to eat today?
No.
Why?
So I'll switch you off. I just thought I'd let you know that Ghostbusters, save your money. Just as a point of interest, that this shocked me. There's a channel I watch and the girl's Australian, and she said that the average price of a cinema ticket in Australia at the minute is $28 each. Now, I don't know, I think, did you tell me what that equated? Did you guess or did you look that up?
It was a guess.
I don't know what, I'll Google what I'm editing. But I mean, for us, the expensive screen in there, the Lux, is £12 each. I think now a normal ticket is $8.
$8.50 they've gone up.
It used to be like, I'd say about a £5. It was a £5 for years, and now it's around $8-ish, $8.50. $28 for one person to go to the cinema. I mean, really? Is it any wonder cinemas are dying? That's just ridiculous. Right, we're going to head to Tesco. Hope everyone's well. I shall switch you on tomorrow to sign off. Or actually, is there anything to... I don't think there's going to be... Oh, flipping out. I don't think there's going to be anything to tell you, so I'll sign you off now rather than tomorrow, because it'll just be more car driving and waffle. Thank you for watching this week. Next week I usually tell you what's coming up. Isaac's only at school Monday to Wednesday. He breaks up on Thursday for Easter. Then he's off the following week. He's going on Saturday with his lovely rainbow up there. He's going on Saturday with his friend Daniel to meet, what's his name?
I think you got Adam.
Isaac really doesn't care, but it's a YouTuber that Daniel really likes. So they're going to Derry to see this YouTuber. It'll be a day out for him. So other than that, next week there's not an awful lot planned. I can't think of anything planned next week. Can't think of nothing. So yeah, I shall catch up with you next week. We'll take it around this corner. Thank you for watching.